We've pre-flighted Tango Lima India, loaded up, fueled up, checked the weather, and we're headed to Hindmarsh Island. We'll be landing on a very short runway that hasn't been used in quite a few years. Our mate Max is going to meet us at the airstrip, pick us up, and we'll go grab some breakfast in town.
Alrighty guys, welcome back to another Dead Stick Adventures YouTube video. We've got Michael and Josh on board. We're heading down to a local strip on Hindmarsh Island to grab some brekkie. And we didn't have a lot of time today, so we thought, what can we do that's going to be local and not take up a lot of time? And yeah, this was it. It's about 40 odd miles away.
Yeah, super quick flight, and we've got a real short strip there, which would be a bit of fun. I reckon we'll go and grab some breakfast and meet a mate down there and check out Hindmarsh Island.
Yeah, should be an awesome way to spend the morning, I think. So I've got this mate Max, and we're actually going to do a video with him soon. He's got this awesome little Grumman Tiger, so we'll do a video in that aircraft. But his family own a shack right on the banks of the Murray on the northern side of Hindmarsh Island. So he's organised to pick us up. He's going to take us to his favourite breakfast spot, and we're going to film the whole lot and take you guys along for the ride. Now the airstrip itself, I spoke to the owner and he's like, yeah, you're welcome to use it, but I haven't actually maintained it in about the last 3 years. So
So precautionary search is required.
Exactly, yeah, he said use it at your own risk. It is 500 metres start to end almost exactly. So what's that in American? 1640?
1640 feet, so it's a short strip.
Yeah, yep.
And what did he say this morning? He texted you there's concrete trucks parked along it.
Yeah.
Alright, British traffic, Tango Lima India, Cessna 182 enters rolls from a 19. It will be departing upwind to the south, climbing 2,500.
Alright, let's see if she'll get airborne in 500 metres. I'm sure she will. We've got 2 stages of flap down, so 20 degrees of flap, which is what the POH recommends for best short field performance.
Perfect. What are you going to rotate at?
When she wants to fly.
Wants to fly? Cool.
All that power in there. Alright, we've got fuel flow, RPM, manifold pressure, there's some airspeed, T's and P's are happy, we're through 30 knots. Start to want to fly there at about 35, off of the stall warning, that's off in about 200 metres, lower the nose to get off the stall warning. And she'll climb out beautifully. So yeah,
that's our 500 metre mark, isn't it?
Yep, out for there, so there'll be no worries getting in and out of that 500 metre strip.
British traffic, Tango Lima India, Cessna 182 departs upwind to runway 19, passing 1,200, climbing 2,500, tracking 200 for Hindmarsh Island. British.
So what, I mean, if you had, the runway we're going to is only 500 metres, like that's not a long runway. So if you had that on your property, if that's all you had in your paddock, what aircraft would you have, do you think, to get in and out of that?
1,600 foot runway. Now I would love, because of Trent Palmer, I would love a Kit Fox, right? But I have a family, I have 2 kids and a wife, so I need 4 seats.
Yeah.
So really, if I was going to spend the money on a Kit Fox, I'm looking at 100 grand Aussie, or maybe probably 100 grand American now. Really, I think I'd spend the extra and get a Mole. A Mole, 6-seater, really capable on a short field, really built like a truck. And what engine have they got in them? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I'd only be guessing. I think the bigger one's the M7, so I assume it's probably got the 540 in it, but I'm only guessing.
That's what I would have said, yeah, 540. So if it's got a 540 in it, it's got a heap of horsepower. It's a fairly light frame, light body with a heavy cabin lift, and it can get in and out of short strips. So I think a Mall would be my choice.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think it'd be great.
What about you?
Probably one of these, to be honest.
Yeah?
I really like Cessnas. Yeah, they're just a great aircraft. 182's awesome, you know, you can put, they're a genuine 4-seater, you can put 4, or 206.
206 would be another good choice, yeah.
182 or a 206, I reckon.
Yeah.
All would be very cool.
I've done a few scary things in my life. The most terrified I've ever been is when I did a skydive just over there.
Yeah, you didn't enjoy that?
Oh, mate. I enjoyed it, sort of, but 9,500 feet, looking out, and they opened that door. I've never been more terrified in my life than that moment.
Really? Yeah, okay. I loved it when I did it. I thought it was really cool.
I enjoyed sitting in the 206 because it's got no seats in it, sitting up back against the pilot seat and looking out the back window as we took off. Had no problem with that. And then as we started to get 8,000, 9,000 feet, yeah, that was, well.
Yeah, I thought that too. I'm like 4,000. I'm like, oh yeah, this is alright. I could hop out of here. And then we got to 9, and I'm like, oh my god, we're up high. I'm used to being a bit closer to the ground.
Absolutely terrified.
Yeah. The one thing I had this morning when I was taxiing the plane was we got to the just to the run-up bay, the edge stripe, shut it down. And I noticed that actually there was quite a large amount of carby ice that had built up. And it just reminds you that fortunately it was on the ground. But these aircraft, even though they got all the tech in them, this is still a carbureted aircraft. It's still susceptible to it. And I don't know what it is with 182s, but they just seem to, I don't know whether it's much my experience, but 182s seem to be fairly susceptible to carby ice. I don't know, I mean, maybe somebody on on the interwebs can tell me whether 182s are worse for it or not, but that's just in my experience.
But what told you that you had carby ice?
Just a reduction in RPM. Slight rough running, so the idle normally is 650, but it was idling down at below 500. And the given, I thought we probably would pick it up this morning. The given was when pulled the carby heat on and the RPMs came up.
But you noticed the Venturi on the carby was closing down, and you could see that it was dropping the RPM.
Exactly, yeah, it's restricting that fuel flow to the engine, or the airflow, and hence the fuel flow to the engine. Exactly, yeah. So
cool.
As soon as I kicked the carby heat on though, up she came.
I wonder why they're more susceptible. It'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, maybe the induction piping or something, I'm not really sure.
So out over the front here, we can see we've got Goolwa coming up over here. Which part of this is Hindmarsh Island?
Yeah, so see the township of Goolwa.
Yep.
Right, and then the river running through this, almost the centre of it, to the left-hand side or the eastern side of it.
Yep.
Everything from the east of there is all Hindmarsh Island through over to the far eastern side there. The other thing you've got is it's surrounded on, well, three sides by freshwater and on the southern side by saltwater.
That's bizarre, isn't it? So that's Hindmarsh Island there. So this part's saltwater, and this part's all freshwater. Yeah, cool. Where's this strip?
Yeah. Next question.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to find it.
I see a long line of dirt there. Does that work?
Oh yeah, we'll just put it down wherever, mate. So he's got this shack down here.
I love the way we call it a shack. I think in Canada they call it a cottage. And here in Australia we call it a shack. And it's not. It's like a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom with a massive deck, like just ridiculously awesome place.
What do they call it in America? Like a lake house or
something? A lake house, yeah. Well, I assume they don't call a lake house that's on the sea a lake house. Maybe that's a sea house.
How does it look from your side?
Yeah, it looks pretty smooth. There's no big divots in it, no chunks out of it.
Foxtrot Yankee.
There's some birds on the
outside controlled airspace control.
On the upwind end, but looks like they've taken off.
Like a runway?
Yeah, it looks like a runway.
Yep. Alrighty.
If you guys are interested to know more about this aeroplane, Tango Lima India, the 182, we did another video just a couple of weeks ago where we flew into a short strip at Bow Hill on the river. That's worth checking out. There'll be a link down below.
Alrighty, so we'll bring her into line up. We're just on base at the moment. Pre-landings, brakes are pressure, handbrake is off, undercarriage is down and welded in this aircraft. Mixture can go full rich. Fuel is on both. Carburetor heat is on full hot and hatches and harnesses are silver.
Oh, indeed.
Alright, just turning final now. Yeah, still showing that southerly, so I'm glad we've landing to the south.
Glad we did that precautionary search.
Yeah.
These guys will be pretty pleased.
Oh yeah, for sure. Go full up there.
Full up.
There's 58.
Birds are gone, beautiful. Nice.
Full up.
Beautiful.
Ah, easy.
Full up.
Yeah, shuttered.
Surface is in good condition.
Yeah, so that was about 54 over the fence.
Full
Yep.
up.
Oh, that was nice.
That was awesome.
That was really cool. Yeah, I love that.
That is not a long runway.
No, look at that. We've just pulled to a stop. We've got, what, 100 metres left.
Yeah, my that is that is a short runway. That is the shortest runway I've ever landed on.
Alrighty, we just landed on this 500-metre strip. That is by far the shortest runway I've ever landed on, but thankfully it's actually still in pretty good condition. There's just a few weeds and whatnot, so for an unmaintained airstrip, we're pretty impressed. What did you reckon, Michael?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. When you came in to land, we pulled up under brakes, and then we had maybe 100 metres left, so it's tight. You feel it, it's tight.
Yeah, so you land and you get on the brakes and you come to a stop and you're like, yeah, the end of the runway is right there. But the cool thing is, no obstacles if you do take off to the south, and we're going to take off to the north, which is fortunately downhill, and also no obstacles except for a power line maybe 100 metres from the end. But yeah, other than that, really cool little strip. Max has picked us up now and we're going to shoot into town and grab some breakfast. I'm just looking at our flight track here from Murray Bridge through to Hindmarsh Island. So started off there at Murray Bridge, came down, flew south, and then picked up, when we found the strip, did one orbit there, then a nice long precautionary search out here, back in, another orbit before coming into land. Hello. Max and his family own a shack on the northern bank of Hindmarsh Island, right on the Murray. For 140 years, Hindmarsh Island was only accessible by ferry until 2001, when they completed construction of the gigantic Hindmarsh Island Bridge that spans the Murray River from the historic port town of Goolwa. The riverbound island now unbelievably boasts the largest freshwater marina in the southern hemisphere, and over 1,400 people now call the island home. Even though we were pushed for time and really only had the morning to make a flight happen, Michael, Josh and I had an awesome time exploring Hindmarsh Island and seeing what the local area had to offer. There's multiple strips to land on, and if you can get permission to land on one, I'd highly recommend it. Just remember, it is a low-lying area with decent annual rainfalls, particularly in winter. So just factor that in when choosing which aircraft and which runway you're planning on landing at. We also had a bit of a casualty on the way back. Lesson learned, don't do wheelies in the aircraft when you've got a GoPro attached to the rear tie-down point. Anyway, if you like this video, please subscribe. We've got an awesome Outback Adventure video coming up and an interview with a 747 captain who spent his career flying in and out of Kai Tak Airport in Hong Kong. See you next time.